guys, welcome to today's project. We're going to be doing a greenhouse. All right, so this is the greenhouse that we've purchased. It's from Harbor Freight. It's an 8x6x6, but look at the dimensions. It's 8.5 by 6 by 3 by 6 by 5. So even though that's what they advertise, it's really not. So when I bought my lumber, you know, I ended up buying all 8-foot sections, and you need longer than 8-foot sections, just so you know. So I'll show you what I've already done over here. So I'm going to be doing this in 2 stages. The first stage is just going to be putting the greenhouse up, and then the second stage is going to be, I'm going to be putting down 4-inch by 6-inch pavers underneath it with a little patio coming out here. So I'm going to do that a little later on, because we're just coming up to spring right now and the ground really hasn't settled, and you know, we're going to have a lot of rain, and so I don't want to put the pavers down yet. So this should be light enough that a few of us should be able to just kind of slide it on top of that when we're done. So I bought these right here for the length. We're 10 foot, we're 6 by 2 by 10s. Because like I said, even though it says it's 8 inches, you have to cut it something like 8 foot 3.5 inches. So don't buy 8-footers, because you're gonna be 3.5 inches shy. And then these over here are 75 inches. So I've gone ahead and I've cut them, and I'm putting these corner braces on. All right, so I just cut this on my miter saw, and then I'll have one left I'm gonna do. And then what I'm gonna do afterwards is I'm gonna put this on, and this is actually gonna go underneath. I'll just slide it underneath here so you can see it. This is not fully secured yet. So it's gonna go underneath, and it will get secured to it. And then if we look on the other side here, so if you can come on over this way, this is gonna give me a lip to secure down in 4 different places, 2 on each side. I'm gonna put some, I probably believe 8x8 solid block. I'm gonna bury them in the ground and then lag bolt into it, because you're supposed to secure it. So that's what we're doing for now. But once again, because it's springtime, we want to plant, and we don't want to wait for the ground to set up in order to put the brick down. So we're going to go ahead and get it all set up, plant, and then we'll probably in a couple months I'll do the tile work, or the block work underneath it, and then we'll just slide it over. It's really not it's not that heavy. I carried this whole thing by myself, so this isn't very heavy. It's aluminum and some kind of corrugated plastic for the screens, and you know, so if 3 or 4 of us are here, we'll be able to just pick it up and slide it on. So I'm going to continue with this, and when I'm done, I'll bring you back. But once again, all I'm doing here is just securing this 4 corner braces, and then I have some of these 4.5-inch bolts that I'm going to come up from the bottom up in all the way around to create the frame for it. So once that's done, I'll give you a final shot of what that looks like before we start with the greenhouse. Stick around, thanks. Okay guys, so I finished the 2x6s all the way around, secured them in, had to grind them down a little bit, they were a little long. So you can see there, ground those down a little bit. And then now I'm starting on securing the basin. So right now this is upside down. I'm gonna flip it around afterwards. So you can see I cut all these at 45s. And these here are some of these, what do they call them? I wanna say they're interlock screws, but headlock screws. So I'm using 4.5-inch ones. They look like this. They have this little star head on it right here. And I'm putting them in. And then I'm gonna put one in on the corner here to pull the corner together. So this will be pretty secure when it's done. And this so far has taken me, with cutting the wood, probably about an hour and a half. So once I'm done, I get it flipped back over, I'll bring you back. Okay everybody, so my plan is gonna change a little bit here. I was gonna put the floor down initially, but after thinking about it, I'm better off to dig the inside out and put the floor down just there. Then I'm gonna put a little bit of a patio probably out this way, because the door is going to be right here because our hose and all of that is out back, so we don't want to have to walk it all the way around. So what I'm going to first do is, I've looked at it already. I put my level on it, so if you want to come over here and take a quick look at that, you can see the, you know, it's not level right now. This side needs to come up quite a bit. So what I'm going to do, this seems to slope downward here. So I've gone ahead with a shovel and basically just went along and cut the top out. I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to take out a couple inches because I want this to sit down into the ground a couple inches level. So likely, I think this corner will sit down 2 inches, that side maybe 4 inches because of the way the ground is sloped. And then once I get it, when I'm looking for, you know, how deep it's going to be, I'm going to put 4 blocks in, a block here, a block there, one over here and one over there, and then just secure them down. So they make these pillar style blocks that you can buy, and you bury them and they're not coming up, so any wind's not going to pull this thing up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to bore you with shoveling because I'm sure you've shoveled before. So once I get it shoveled and I have it pretty well level, I will bring you back and show you what we did. All right, guys, so we're back here at the greenhouse project and we're starting to dig our holes. So I'm going to be putting footings in right here. They're basically 11 inches by, 11 inches square by 7 inches high. So I want to go down a little way so I can drop some rock down in there and to create a base for it to sit on. And then we move over here a little bit, and here's where the next one was going to go. And I know you're all saying, why don't you just put cement in and I'll give you a great base? Well, I'm stubborn. Ask my wife. She'll tell you I'm stubborn, but she's out here helping me, and we've got this rock to wiggle a little bit. All right, so we're going to be pulling it out soon. So I'm going to set you up somewhere. I'll try to figure out where. I'm going to put you right here. Hopefully you stay, and if you don't, I'm sorry, but you're going to see us work this rock out. Okay? Or we're going to try to. And if not, we'll be deleting this. So I'm going to lift it again. She's going to put this board under this corner here. So once I get it, I gotta go this way. I'm gonna get it lifted, and she's gonna try to push that as far down there as she can. Actually, you know what, sweetie? I bet you need to help me. Shovel? Yeah, use the shovel, and then once we get it lifted, then I can hold it there. And you can put that board down to keep it pried up. So, move this here. Whoa. I gotta come up a little bit. That's what it was. I gotta come up more. Let me get your shovel underneath there for you.
Do you want me to hold that crowbar up?
No, you're better off with this, probably. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna just dig this a little bit. A longer 2x4. Okay, can you go support it one more time? I'm just trying to keep it from rolling back in, so just see if that's okay. All right, guys, 2-inch rigid pipe. It's not going anywhere. All right. I know you can't see it, but the rock is now lifted. She's gonna hold it there while I go back down one more. Lift it some more. To there. Okay. She's a beast.
You mean the rock?
The rock is a beast. No, I love my wife. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is probably try to get a strap underneath it, and then I can just lift it with a strap. So I'll bring you back when I get that all set up. Okay, so here's my setup. I wish I had a longer pipe, it would make it a lot easier, but I've tied the strap around the rock. It might just slip off, I don't know. And then I've got it one end down here on a piece of wood to keep it from digging into the ground. And it's a little short here, so I'm gonna put this in to give me a little more leverage right here. I'm gonna be lifting it, and hopefully the rock will just lift up. It just slipped off, but I picked it up a little bit more, so now I can get the rock or the rope around it even better. Bring it back when it's done, or when we're getting close. Huh? You don't want to get too close to it, sweetie. You just want to start lifting it. Damn thing. Rats, at least it's underneath it, and I can lower. We can just lower back. Just let it go. Now the cable's underneath it, which is what I've been looking to do. So. Keeps. It broke.
It can still go a little bit.
No, the whole matter broke.
It's just bent. It didn't break.
I know, but it's. Well, there she is, right along the. I have a rock wall here that runs along the side of my driveway here. Put it on a two-wheeler. I don't even know how much that weighs. 300, 400, 500 pounds, something along those lines. You can see it. Here's the hole it came out of. My wife asked me why I didn't want to just move it 4 or 5 inches that way, because that's a defeatist attitude. I knew I could move a rock, and therefore I moved it. Now I have 2 more holes I have to dig, and I'm hoping not to hit another rock that size. So here's how I ended up taking care of this. So I have this ladder right here, and what I did is I put a bar right across this rung right here. So I have a heavy steel bar that I used, and then I took a piece of pipe, which is this piece of pipe here, and used it as a lever going across the bar. So the pipe stuck this way across the bar, and so then what we did is we had a strap that's rated for 1,500 pounds, and attached it to the rock. I was able to get it down underneath the rock, believe it or not, which was great. And we were able to lift it 3 or 4 inches at a time, and then have to reset the rope. And all we did is we just kept filling in underneath it with all this wood and some bricks. And we just lifted it 3 inches, readjusted, lifted 3 inches, readjusted. And eventually we were able to get it up high enough that I set a piece of plywood underneath it, which was supported by brick, so it wasn't gonna cave in. That got it off the level with the ground. And once again, I just took my dolly, which is lying around here. It's a furniture moving dolly right here. This is my kid's tree fort. I haven't put the roof on yet, but we have a tree fort with a zip line that runs all the way down to the end over there. So that's what you're looking at. So there's the dolly, the furniture dolly there. Attached it to that and dragged it. So, okay, 2 more holes to dig. Bring you back when we're done with them. Okay, so we have all 4 holes dug out. And this is the lowest corner you're looking at here. So these are the blocks I'm gonna use. I've dug the hole out. This is some fill that you can put in, that you can buy in a bag, which really gives it a lot of stability. So my whole rock wall here that I've built, it's actually really not a rock, it's a block wall all the way along. I built it there, some down there, some over there, all has that underneath it. And it's really, I mean, this is the 3rd year. It's as level as it could possibly be. So I usually put about 4 inches or so, and it really helps to keep it, from shifting. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna get all 4 blocks set into my holes here, get them all level, and then I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so I have my 4 pillars in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Took such a big rock out of here, I don't have enough dirt to replace it, so I'm gonna have to go buy some. But for now, I think I've got enough here to cover, because it's going to come out here, so I can fill that in later. So that's not that big of a deal. So those are my 4 pillars right there that I have. They're pretty square. They're 100% level, and they're off by about, I don't know, half an inch on square, but that's not gonna matter because, I have plenty of room left and right on this thing here. So I'm gonna set this thing on top of it, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay guys, so I have it on, set on. It is completely level. Pretty proud of myself. and there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4 of these bolts in right here. These are 6-inch bolts. So they're going to go at least 3 inches in, probably a little more than that, about 3.5 inches, I'd say, into the concrete. So hopefully, you know, that should hold pretty well. So once I drill my hole down through the wood with a wood bit, I'll hit it with a 3/8 inch, because that's what this says. It's 3/8. I might say it right there, 3/8 inch to drill. And then I'll end up putting a little bit of whatever they call it, Loctite premium bond here down the hole. And so, you know, I'll shoot a bunch of it down there. Then when I put the bit down, or the bolt down, it'll drag it down in there, and it should just hold with no issues whatsoever. So once I get that all down, I'll give you a shout back. Okay, so I have it all down. So gone ahead and bolted right to there with those 6-inch bolts. They are not coming out. And I put a bunch of the, you know, the glue into there. You know, it goes all the way down. So there's, you know, those are never going to come out. So that's that. My goal eventually is I have a whole pallet of these bricks here. You know, so I'm going to do a herringbone pattern throughout the whole inside. Obviously I have to dig it down and put down some sand, some underlay, you know, some base below it to get it done. I've done all that throughout the whole property here, so this shouldn't be too bad. And they're, you know, the color that they're at, they shouldn't absorb a lot of sunlight, so it shouldn't be overly hot inside, yet they should absorb some of the heat through the day and provide some heat overnight if we just close the window up. So that's kind of my goal there. So we're gonna clean up. We have a mess, made a mess. If you've ever watched my videos, yeah, I can make a mess, but I do clean it up. So once we start setting up the greenhouse, we'll bring you back. Okay guys, so I'm laying the track out for the setup of the greenhouse. And one of the things that I saw online from a bunch of people who were assembling them, they said that the measurements, which are right here, let's see. These measurements right here that they give you for your base that you need wasn't perfect, and that's what I'm finding here. So when you set up this track here, it's supposed to overlap there. It's a drip edge, and then that's the door side, and then this is one of the sides, and you can see there's a little drip edge right there that's supposed to overlap. On this side though, you can see this pencil mark. That's how far off that was. So it's about a 1/2 inch off. And my measurements are absolutely perfect, exactly what they gave me. So I'm taking my saw, setting it at an angle right here, and I'm just running down that line. That'll give me, you know, an angle to set that drip edge down in. So just a little warning on that. Okay, so, you know, we've started to get the structure up here. I feel some rain coming in, so we got some rain clouds coming in, so we're gonna be taking a break for a second. So just to show you what we've done so far, once you get your 4 corner posts on, these 4 corner posts, then you can secure it down. So I went ahead and secured it down with 1.5 inch screws, and they want 3 per side, so we did that. And then, you know, you just follow the instructions. The instructions are absolutely terrible, so be ready to watch some stuff on YouTube, because it's, you know, I'd like to tell you it's self-explanatory, but there's just some things that aren't really. And I can see there's this wicked bow here, right here. So I'm not even sure I did that right. So we will take a look at that afterwards. I believe it's right. It's just out of square, you know, so you don't tighten everything down yet, you know. So I got a feeling that once I start tightening everything down, that'll pull back and that should look fine. Yeah, so that should be fine. But I consider myself a reasonably intelligent guy. I assemble stuff all the time, but if it wasn't for looking at a couple different YouTube videos, some of the stuff just doesn't make any sense. And their diagrams they give you are pretty much stick figures. You know, they could include, you know, some color pictures, which would be helpful, but there's enough online that you'll get through it without any issues. So bring you back probably closer to when we're done. When we get the whole frame assembled, I'll bring you back before we start putting the panels in. All right guys, so we're starting to actually put the panels on. Been trying to debate on when we should start tightening this up, and I'm pretty sure it's probably at the very end of once you get all the panels on, That way they all kind of fit in there. Then you can go back along and tighten all your bolts up. So I haven't really been able to find any reading on when do you tighten your bolts. It must be after you get all your panels in, go along and tighten all your bolts, right? So we put our first panel in here, and we've been seeing everybody talking about securing, oh, I gotta get that up there. There you go, that wasn't completely in. About securing, you know, the panels here. And there's been different talks about the right way to use these clips, right? And I'm just gonna show you what I found. They give you a tool here, which actually makes it really simple, all right? And if I'm gonna do this clip here, I'm gonna hold this clip against here so you can see the orientation of it right there, all right? And you can see this clip right here where I put it in, it has to go, this is the edge of the panel, and it goes into the edge of the panel, you know, past the panel. So you don't want that sitting on the panel. And then right here, this holds on. So right here, I'm gonna come down, set this right about here, take the tool they give you, push it under. Take the tool they give you, and push it under. And they go on really easy. So I've seen people talk about how their fingers were bleeding at the end of it because there's 140 clips or something like that. But I find that it's gonna be really simple. Also, we're gonna use some of this tape. We've seen 1 or 2 people using the tape to seal the ends on. I've seen a lot of people using caulking, and even with the caulking, I've seen the moisture build up inside. So I figure, worst case scenario, if I get some moisture, this tape is removable. You know, I can always pull the tape off and retape it or try the caulking. So that's the way we're going. We're hoping it's the right way to go. So we'll bring you back once we get a few more of the panels on, just show you, give you a little update on it. Okay guys, so this is the finish of it. So this probably took, I would say in total from start to finish, probably 2 full days. So between putting the base in, the boards down there, digging in, you can see right here the footings. So I put 4 footings in. If you've watched the whole video, you obviously know the rock that I took out, which is this big old rock right down here. My wife and I muscled that out. So, this thing went together really, really well. I'm really happy with it. So, a couple things that I'm going to do next. I'll show you the inside. So as usual with this, pretty much the biggest complaint is just the quality of the door. It took so much adjusting to try to get that door just to be as bad as that is. It wouldn't even open remotely when I first put it on. So, so I am actually going to go ahead and put the floor down. So I'm going to dig this out. I'm going to dig it down about 6 inches probably, and then come in here with some gravel and then a little bit of leveling sand or some other product that I've used also, and just put those bricks in. And so I'm going to put the brick in so that it sits just below. So I don't think I'll have it even here. I might, I'm not even sure. I'll probably actually bring the brick even to this level here. So, so that's the next thing. I was going to wait on that, but with having to build the shelves and all that stuff, I'm going to have to pull all that back out. So I just decided to bite the bullet, put the floor in, get that all done. And then I'll build the shelves for what we're going to use. Hopefully I'm going to do that over the next couple of days because we're in planting season right now. So we're in early spring. It's still in the 30s at night, but typically 70s during the day. So, so we're going to start planting in this already. And I'll just probably pull the things out as I'm working in it. So we'll just put some stuff down on the floor or on the ground down there. So, we have all these beds that I've put in over the last couple of years, and you can see all of our flowers that are growing here. But, these are all tulips or different kinds of tulips, I guess. I'm not perfect with it, but these actually, don't flower for very long. So we want to be able to garden, and put in, a bunch of different flowers in this area here, and then same thing down in this area here. So, once all the tulips come up and they are beautiful for a while, we're going to go ahead and be putting down the mulch pretty soon. I'm going to be buying the mulch today. Same thing here. I have a little garden here where this post is that I put this lamp post in. And then just behind my wife's car back there, I'm going to put another, semi-round planter in there. Same thing as that you see right here. So this planter that's right here, I'm going to put something similar like to this in somewhere just over here. So So we have plenty of space for flowers, you know, and we don't want to have to buy our flowers all the time from, you know, flowers are expensive if you ever had to buy any. And we also have our little garden here, which we're going to be expanding too. Don't mind my grass. You know, last year I bought new loam and bought Pennington seed, and all I got was this. So I did fertilize, I did everything you're supposed to do, but pre-treatments, all that stuff, and all I got was crabgrass. So I've got stuff to kill the crabgrass this year, and I'll overseed it. So this is our little vegetable garden, and we're probably gonna expand out, you know, bring it toward us one more, you know, so that it's, instead of it being 16 by 4, it'll be 16 by 8. You know, we have great vegetables that come up every year, so we're really happy with that. So all right, guys, so I'm probably gonna end this video here. I'll give you a couple examples of what it looks like at the end with the shelving in it and the floor in it, and I might bring you back just to show you a little bit about how I'm doing with the floor. All right, guys, so I've dug out the inside here. I know it's a little backwards, should have dug this out first, but I was really planning on doing this later in the summer. You know, we're just trying to get started in the early spring. So I've dug it out. I'm down at least 6 inches. Just below this area here, or, you know, is sand. So this is, you know, if I dig down too much further, I get down into really soft sand. This whole side of my house is just nothing but sand. So I'm gonna stay right here. I'm gonna be purchasing some product to lay down in there, along with some sand on top of it to level it, so that I can use these bricks. So I bought a pallet of bricks last year for another project, but I ended up using different bricks. So these were used bricks that I had from something else that I was doing, and I'm just gonna power wash them as I go. So far I've just been dumping the sand or the soil out of there here and kind of feathering it in so that it, you know, looks pretty natural here, like the greenhouse has been here for a while. So that's where we're at the moment. Once I get the product in and level down, I'll show you what it looks like before we start putting the bricks in. Okay guys, so I'm starting to lay down the base for the floor inside the greenhouse. And I buy this product from Home Depot, and I've had good success with it on my wall here. You know, so my wall hasn't moved. It's as level as it was, you know, a couple years ago when I put it in. So some of them need to be a little straightened out, but, you know, the base is as level as it can be. So I'm going to be using about 4 inches of this throughout the whole inside, and then about 1 inch of the sand to just level it out. And I'll bring you in there to show you what I've done so far. So I've already laid down, I'd say that there's probably 15 bags in here at the moment. So, and I've gone ahead and used this rake to level it as best I can. It doesn't need to be perfectly level by any means. And then I'm gonna use a couple 2x4s here, or actually they're 2x3s, as a screen here. So you can see that one end is longer than the other, and both ends are that way. And so I should be able to put it down right here like this. You can see that there. All right, and that runs across over here. And so right now I can see that I probably have a couple inches in the middle, so I need to bring that up a little bit. So I'm gonna add another bag or two there, bring it out, and then I'll be putting sand in and using this as a scree to pull it back. So I'll probably do 3 feet at a time, lay my brick down, another 3 feet at a time, lay my brick down. Once I get the sand down, I'll bring you back and just show you how it turned out. Okay, so this is 3 bags of sand on top of the gravel here that I purchased, the pavestone gravel. So you can see it flattens it out pretty well. All right, so I'm gonna start laying the pavers down. So, I'm gonna do a herringbone. So 2 one way, 2 the other, 2 the one, one way, 2 the other. And so I'll probably do 3 or 4 rows, and I'll bring you back just to show you what the progress looks like. Okay, so I have, depending on how you look at it, I have 2 rows, going right now, and I've screed back to this point here. So this is working out really, really well. I'm gonna have to cut, every other row. I'm gonna have to cut a block in order to continue with the herringbone pattern over there. So I didn't want to have to, over here you can see these are full ones. I'm gonna have only a half, half over here. I just didn't, this is a greenhouse. I'm not looking for it to be absolutely perfect, so I wasn't looking to cut half bricks everywhere along. So, so this side will have just a single brick going down as the row. So, gonna continue on. Pretty easy. I've been at this about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay guys, so I just finished laying the pavers down. The one that you see that are discolored are just wet because it's been pouring rain out today. So, but you know, this has stayed completely dry in here. So the pavers are down. The only thing I haven't done yet is lock them in by just sweeping some sand into them. So I'm gonna end up doing that tomorrow and then building the shelves around. So we're gonna end up putting a shelf, you know, starting here all the way around over, you know, over there and here. I think I'm gonna build them 18 inches out all the way around. Probably just put one shelf in and use the floor, you know, to stack other things on. Or maybe build 2 shelves. I'm just not really sure. So we will see. But this turned out really great. It was really easy to do, short of just having to dig a little bit here in New Hampshire, which is where I'm at. We call it the Granite State, and there's a reason for it. So pulled a bunch of rocks out, you know, but you know, once again, it was fairly easy to do. You know, don't mind my mess everywhere. So I will bring you back tomorrow to show you the shelving once I'm done with the shelving. I'm gonna keep it really simple though, you know, just something, you know, very easy to use, nothing that's gonna take up a lot of space, because there's not a real lot of space in this smaller unit here. So hey guys, so I'm going to show you the finished product. So I did finally get the pavers down here, or the bricks. And these were bricks I bought a while ago, and they had been used on another project, and they were such nice bricks, we took them back up. And, you know, because I knew I would have another project to put them down on. So I didn't really show this process because there's, you know, 1,000 videos online on how to, you know, do this kind of work here. So I just wanted to show you the final of what I did. So I went down about 8 inches, just so you know, put down a paver base, paved stone paver base that I bought from Home Depot. And then put a little over 1 inch of sand on top of that, screed it out so that these bricks are pretty level, and hopefully they should just stay this way. So my wife and I want a little seating area here. We do actually have another porch out back, and I'll include a couple photos of that we put in 2 years ago. So we have plenty of space here to sit, but this is just a nice area. This is the morning right now. It's probably around 10 o'clock, and this is where our sun hits us. So if we want to have breakfast out here in the morning, or just a cup of coffee, this is a great place for it. So as you can see, you know, this has been done all the way around. So I'm still gonna put a trim board down where the brick meets the, you know, the greenhouse, just to fill that gap there. And then we come all the way around here. Excuse my lawn. This has all been torn up because of this project, and it's terrible lawn anyways. All the way around here. So I only just finished this morning. I still need to put the sand in to you know, get all these locked into place. But I'm gonna do that a little later on tonight. We might be expecting a little bit of rain soon, so I don't want to do that. Gonna move you into the inside here. And so this is the inside of the greenhouse. All right, it's, you know, it's a greenhouse. We haven't, you know, fully moved into it yet, so there's still a little bit of the stuff that we're using to build with. All right, so you can see what I did here. So I used the wire mesh for the, you know, for the shelving, and you can see that right here, I put all my post just along the edge here. And so there's no post here, and you know, I could put all my weight on this and it completely supports it. So it's pretty sturdy. So we're really happy with this. It came up perfect. We did use one of these hydraulic hinges here, or sorry, the hydraulic opener. And this is it. It's about 70 degrees out right now, and it's wide open, and it was fully closed last night, so it's working great. So we're gonna call this the end of this project. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Once again, we would love you to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. We're just a new channel, just starting to build, and any help that we can get would be great. So any questions, comments, or complaints, let me know. Hey guys, a little bonus video here. I know I had said that the video for the greenhouse was completely over with, and here's the greenhouse here. Got a couple rocking chairs there. But here is our garden, and we've just doubled the size of the garden. So this garden is 18 by 8. And all the dirt that came out of the project actually went in here, but it's pretty rocky. So we built a screen right here, and this is dirt that's been screened, and this is dirt that's not screened, and a lot of the rocks that have been coming out. So I just wanted to show you what we did with all the dirt and how we're getting rid of all the rock that was in it. So once again, thanks for watching. All right, guys, so this is the final video, right? So this was the final project, and all the dirt that came out of here ended up going into this garden here. So I built a screen and sifted it. So you saw that just a moment ago, right? And this is the final, all sifted. And then I added peat moss into it and tilled it in, rototilled it in. And so hoping to have a bumper crop this year.